Beer here back at the Fantasy Bar. 6 plays for you over on Yahoo for week 3, including a correlation play from a game I really like. Only going to cost you $30 combined. My favorite quarterback wide receiver pairing on the slate, a tight end I think will be forgotten about. And the best buy low on Yahoo. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Week 3 edition, Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here once again in the Fantasy Bar with 6 guys fresh off the tap for you over on Yahoo. Speaking of Yahoo, guys, get over there. If you haven't tried it yet, we got good news for you. Use promo code GRINDERS25, $25 bonus on your first deposit. So can't beat that. And you're going to use that money to enter a ton of different contests, but featuring the $1 million baller contest on Yahoo. Just a $10 entry. The best news, no maintenance fee, no rake, straight payouts from Yahoo on that contest. And we've seen some overlay in that thing as well. So make sure you guys get over and get those in. Not only that, single game entries going on Monday nights, Thursday nights, Sunday night football, as well as the Yahoo Cup, absolutely free to play, $150,000 in prizes. So tons of great stuff going on over at Yahoo. As far as the Fantasy Bar, you guys know the drill by now. Make sure you click that thumbs up button. That's the tip jar here for this free video. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and little link here. If you haven't checked out the FanDuel DraftKings video, all you got to do is hit that link right here on the video. It'll take you over the other 6-pack, 12 picks per week for your DFS play here for week 3. Lastly, scoresandodds.com/beer. Guys, if you're into sports betting, you want to try it out, some great information there to link in the description of the video, with tons of analytics there, trends, history between the two teams. You got different odds across different sports books, and you don't have the time to look into all that. Hey, we got you covered there as well. Premium picks from some of your favorite RotoGrinders personalities, myself included. If you want some of my favorite bets of the week, head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. All right, let's get into it here in week 3 over on Yahoo. Again, big $1 million baller contest. Let's find you some plays there. Let's start at the running back position with Ty'Son Williams of the Ravens. Now, $18 here feels like a steal for Ty'Son Williams. First of all, he gets a nice matchup here with Detroit. And I use potentially the league's worst run defense. We've only seen 2 weeks, but pretty good sample there for us so far. We saw Aaron Jones go nuts against this team. Last week, we saw Elijah Mitchell come out of nowhere and have a big game in week 1. So I think this is going to be a common theme this season, with not only that defense being bad, but Detroit being bad in general. Teams are going to be able to control the clock, and we know Baltimore, that's what they want to do. Now, I get it. Latavius Murray, Devonta Freeman, both going to work in here. But Ty'Son Williams did handle almost 50% of the running back snaps. If you watch that game, he looked like the best player. Even with that fumble on the goal line, they did not hesitate to go back to him. And Detroit really been hammered, especially with the touchdowns. We mentioned Jones and Mitchell, 6 touchdowns already, 2 running backs allowed by the Detroit Lions here. And again, I think Ty'Son Williams controls this backfield. 29-point team total here for Baltimore, almost 8-point favorites here. I think he can control this game on the ground. Keep an eye on Lamar Jackson, questionable of this recording, dealing with an illness. If they have to go to the backup, maybe even more Ty'Son Williams. But if it is Lamar, still love him at this $18 price point here against Detroit. All right, let's get a little correlation. I like that game. If Baltimore's controlling the game, Detroit's going to be forced to throw. That gives us wide receiver QUINTEZ CEPHUS just $12. So again, we're expecting Baltimore to run away with this one, control the game. That means we want to get on the other side with a pass catcher. It only makes sense, and we've seen this out of Detroit over the first couple weeks of the season. Now, we know TJ Hawkinson, the main target in this offense, but CEPHUS clearly been the best wide receiver for this team so far this year, and a nice connection here with Jared Goff. 13 targets so far through the first 2 weeks of the season, and scored a touchdown in every game. And you see the athleticism. This guy almost made the catch of the decade in that game against Green Bay. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It would have beat the Odell Beckham catch, in my opinion, but CEPHUS has been impressive. Baltimore been struggling against the wide receiver position. I know they just played Kansas City. That did not come on the back of Tyreek Hill either. That was some of the other guys that got it done. The Byron Pringles and Mecole Hardmans of the world, 7th most fantasy points allowed so far to this point. So another game where Detroit's going to likely be playing from behind, throwing the ball a ton. CEPHUS, a nice value here on Yahoo at just $12. All right, let's spend some money next at the quarterback position. We're going to roll with Ryan Tannehill of the Titans, $29. So Tannehill, big yardage numbers in that game against Seattle. It was an impressive win for this Tennessee team, hitting almost 350 yards passing in that overtime game, but we have not seen it translate yet in the fantasy department. We know this guy is capable of having some big GPP winning performances. We haven't seen it yet. I think it's coming this week against the Colts. You look at some of the numbers already this season. Colts have already allowed 6 touchdown passes through 2 games. We saw Russell Wilson really tear this team up through the air. And I think Titans are going to be able to do that as well. Not only that, but you're going to get low ownership here. Yes, he's going to have some supporters out there, but I think a lot of people are going to roll with Derrick Henry this week, coming off that massive game as home favorites here in a good matchup with the Colts. Look, I have no issues with Derrick Henry anytime he's in a spot like this, but let's not forget how good this passing game can be. Tannehill, very mobile with his legs, can get it done around the goal line. I think he has a big game here this week against the Indianapolis Colts. So I promised you a wide receiver to go with the quarterback. We're going to roll with A.J. Brown. That same $29. So I know there's a lot of talk out there. Julio Jones has been impressive. He's the wide receiver 1 here. I say nonsense. I still think it's A.J. Brown. I really think we're going to start to see that moving forward. Now, I don't have an issue with either of those guys. Even if you wanted to double stack here and really get crazy with the Titans, I think you can go that route. But I really think this is a spot where A.J. Brown's going to get it going. If you look at the Colts, let's go back to last season, get a bigger sample size. Any major category I looked at, receiving yards, receptions, touchdowns, bottom half of the league in fantasy points as well. Well, the numbers have gotten even worse here over the first 2 weeks of the season here. Now, we know it's a limited sample so far, but second most receiving touchdowns allowed. We've seen some big games. We talked Russell Wilson. We saw Tyler Lockett have a massive game, third most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So we know how good A.J. Brown is. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets it going. Don't sit on the sidelines. I think this is the week he has a monster game here in week 3 against the Colts. All right, let's go to the tight end position here. We know we have the studs up top, guys like Kelsey and Waller. We're going to save some money here with Tyler HIGBEE, $16. Now, this game easily one of the games of the week, if not the game of the week, and I think a lot of people are going to surround this game with ownership of guys like Stafford, Cooper Kupp, who's been amazing so far this season, Robert Woods in a rebound game, all the Tampa Bay guys. I think HIGBEE going to be the forgotten guy, even at the tight end position. More people are going to go with Rob Gronkowski and what he's been doing here. Now, I know HIGBEE let a lot of you guys down last week. Well, let's look how good he was in week 1, and I think we're going to get back to that here in week 3. Why? The matchup. We know Tampa Bay very good against the run. We'll see what happens with Darrell Henderson, but I don't care if it's Henderson or Sony Michel. I don't see the Rams going very run-heavy in this game. And what does that mean? That's more routes for the tight end to run, where he doesn't have to block as much on some of these running plays. I think we're really going to see HIGBEE out in space with the focus of the defense likely on Cooper Kupp, who's been probably the fantasy MVP to this point. So I think HIGBEE really going to see a lot of openings here. The Bucs struggle with tight ends so far to open the season. 4th most receptions and yards allowed to this position. I think you get a big time bounce back from Tyler HIGBEE, and nobody going to want to play him after last week. So we'll get very minimal ownership as well. Add it all up. Love the spot here for HIGBEE against the Tampa Bay Bucs. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for week 3. But before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Week contest here on Yahoo. All you have to do, get in the comment section right below the video. Make sure you've hit that thumbs up button and guess fantasy points on Yahoo for my favorite play of the week. The closest guess is going to win themselves a free RotoGrinders t-shirt, softest, most comfortable t-shirt I've ever put on. And again, all you got to do is guess that in the comment section here with fantasy points on Yahoo. So without further ado, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for week 3. You know, Mass, the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. I promised you a buy low here. We owe you one more running back. We're going with Saquon Barkley, just $24, this week's Beast of the Week. Now, we're covering Yahoo on this video. Fine sponsor here in the fantasy bar. But Saquon Barkley, not only a value here on Yahoo, but a value across the DFS industry right now. So let's take advantage, especially at this $24 price point. We really saw the snaps go up in week 2. I know there was a lot of concern that they're going to ease him in early in the season. Face 2 very difficult matchups to start the season as well. Now things are going to start to open up a little bit. We really saw that in week 2, 84% snap share in that game. 10 days rest here for Saquon Barkley, which is also very good news. We know them wanting to ease him in, dealing with the injuries. That's going to help as well. A lot of rest here coming off that Thursday night game. In Atlanta, a great matchup here. Bottom 10 in receptions, receiving yards allowed, bottom 12 in fantasy points allowed. If you've watched the other videos, you know I love the New York Giants here. Love any kind of stack here, but really like Saquon Barkley at these cheap prices here in week 3, making him easily my favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll do it from 6 of my favorite plays on Yahoo for week 3. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget fantasy points for Saquon Barkley on Yahoo for your shot at a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. And who is your beast of the week? While you're down in that comment section, let me know your favorite play of the week. Couple reminders, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Grinders25 on Yahoo. Take advantage of that promo code before it goes away for $25 free on your first deposit. And scoresandodds.com/beer for all of your sports betting needs. For RotoGrinders at Yahoo, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck this week, guys. Make sure you go and check out the FanDuel DraftKings video as well for 6 more plays. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist